a bad body. So, it's another one, yeah, it's a full strong, yeah. Oh, it's another one, yeah.
Oh, I never get tired of that beat. How are you?
I do like that song, man. That song is fire as hell. I'm very well, thank you, Mr. Ra Hokam. How are you, sir? How's the day, as it were?
It was a horrible day because I had to go to work.
That sucks.
Not actually go to work like the office. You know, usually I'm working from home, which ain't really working. It is working. It's doing my kind of work. I'm looking up the boxing news. I'm getting in touch with fighters, making sure I've got my accreditation for places like Bournemouth and Saudi Arabia. iBoxingHub is going to be repped there by none other than myself of Punch Out Boxing, and of course our new girl Aisha is going. Green Diamond Boxing. So iBoxingHub, big up. Two of the fam are going to be there for Day of Reckoning, which is, I don't know if you noticed it on my tweet, Yawm ul Hisab. That's how you say it in Arabic. Yeah.
Huh?
Yawm ul Hisab.
Yeah. Where? What?
That's how you say Day of Reckoning in Arabic. I had to go and look it up. I don't speak Arabic that well.
Okay. Mate, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even know where that came from. I'm slightly lagging at the moment. I just done a reboot before we started the show. But
also known as a disco nap. Yeah, I'm brushing up on my Arabic because when I meet Turkey Prince Ali,
it's Turkey al-Shi.
Oh, so you're making
it right. If you're gonna be going over there,
yeah.
Listen. When you get blocked on social media, by a Turkish, by a Saudi prince, it just puts life into perspective. So I'm going to be saying everybody's name correctly, okay? First name, last name, uncle's name, daughter's name, all of them, okay? But yes, obviously, as you said, right, you're going to be represented. You, Aisha, are going to be there in the great kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I was so tempted to finish that, but yeah, let's get into it. I'll tell you what, though. I'll let you pick the first topic of the night. Before, obviously, you do, I want to say big up to Treyway, big up Tony Ellis, big up Chris, BNG. I think ever since he sent me those 3 letters, it's changed my life. Right. So, what are we going into first, Mr.
First topic. We'll start with an easy one, and we won't spend too long on it. Just want to recap what we saw Sunday night in Bournemouth. Yeah, when Chris Billam-Smith arrived, the atmosphere was banging. But the consensus afterwards was that if he fights any of the top cruiserweights, the way he did against Masternak, he could come on stock, probably would come on stock. Johnny Nelson, who I spoke to, he said, yeah, people look at that and think Chris is the weakest of the champions. Personally, as you know, I don't get carried away by a single bad or good performance. Maybe he did overlook Masternak. That's what I think most likely happened. He won't fight like that against Richard Riakporhe, but yeah, he was getting beaten. But hey, look, he stopped him. Body shots. That's why they say invest in the body. It'll pay off later on in the fight, and that's what it did. But yeah, he's going to have to up his game if he's going to fight Richard Riakporhe. And as for going in against Opataya, yeah, he's going to have to. He's got some serious work to do. So, but fortunately for him, that fight isn't going to happen anytime soon. So yeah. Yeah, that's my thoughts on the main event. Obviously, there's some good upcomers. Ben Whittaker got a great sensational knockout. But that should be it now for those learning fights. I appreciate. Oh, wait a sec. I don't need to tell you about Ben Whittaker.
That's you are
the alter
That's
ego.
My guy. That is me. That is me. That's why you didn't see me at Bournemouth. I was in the ring fighting, chinning someone. Okay, I didn't even have to look at the guy. I didn't even have to look at him. I was like, what? Bang.
You were
Um,
watching out for me and Aisha in the crowd, yeah.
listen,
But
that's what I'm saying.
when you see Superman, Clark Kent, tell him no more fights like that. Louis Edmondson's been calling him out. Yeah, he's another unbeaten prospect who fancies his chances. Time to do that. So, yeah, that was Ben. And, of course, lovely Francesca Hennessy, the $1 billion baby. Me and her, the two best-dressed people in Bournemouth. She got on another show. Yeah, she done well. And Lee Cutler got the English super welterweight title, which puts him on the radar of some dangerous kids. Junaid Boston, I know wants him next. We'll come on to him because I'm sure you saw the presser. We're going to come on to that later. Yeah, that was my thoughts from Sunday night. Don't know whether you want to add anything to that.
Oh, not really. I think what I'll do is obviously touch on the main event. I think Chris, you know what it is, right? Chris, for me, and this is why Shane was obviously super pissed at him, is because Shane is trying to take him a different way where he's getting less punishment. But in his last I would say 3 fights bar the Akoli fight, he takes unnecessary damage if he feels that he's not afraid of you. But the thing is that these guys are actually damaging him. I believe the opponent before Akoli, I think that fight was at the BIC as well, funny enough. He absolutely put a battering on Chris before he stopped him. Like, if you obviously there and speaking to Shane was pissed, and rightly so. When you're probably the best trainer this side of the equator, and you're turning these fighters into world champions, you see your fighter taking unnecessary damage like that, and it's just it goes against what they're working on in the gym. So I think Chris, definitely enjoy your Christmas turkey, my guy. You definitely deserve all of that. I have so much love for Chris, but I have to be honest in the analysis and say that he does take way too much unnecessary damage. And if he wants to keep fighting at the level that he's fighting at and fight the Jay Opatayas of the world and the rest of them, he's got to polish it up. He must polish it up. Trey, obviously thoughts on my twin Ben Whitaker. Do you know what? I like him. I really do. I've spoken to Ben. He this is the thing. See, boxing fans are different in the sense that it's very selective based on who your kind of core favorite boxers are. So some people love the fact that he's like Naz and he does all the showboating and whatnot. I don't. I have nothing against it. My only criticism for me would be if you get Chin doing that stuff, you will never, ever, ever, ever hear the end of it. It will live on the internet forever. So, but I think he's I think the kid is special, man. I think he's really good. I think he's gonna go really far if he keeps on. It'll be interesting to see him fight like that against one of the big boys. I can't imagine him doing that to Anthony Yard. I can't imagine him doing that to Boazzi. I can't imagine. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I think I think take another domestic fight and then go up the levels. Certainly. I didn't really catch the undercard fights. But all in all, great show in Bournemouth. Big up to boxer Ben Shalom. And yeah, that's all I got to say about that one.
Should we just go to some of the comments? Tony Ellis made a good point. Kid, he's 26. I see your point, but
he's a kid to me, Rob.
To me, I mean, and look, the king of the division better be nearly my age, so I guess based on that, it's reasonable to think of him as a kid. But no, I agree, especially being an Olympian, he's going to move quicker now. I think that if he's just cut, I know he's been plagued with injuries for the past year. So, okay, you don't want to, if you want to make sure the shoulder holds up. A shoulder injury is a complicated injury.
Then he needs to stop dancing. He needs to stop doing that shoulder roll boogie or whatever the hell it is. If your shoulder's literally hanging on by a damn thread, bruv, stop it, okay? Stop it.
So yeah, like I said, that should be it. 2024 big year, or we're going to start losing interest. Tony thinks Isaac beats CBS now.
If
Again,
he
based
carries
on
on
that
fighting
performance,
like that, yeah.
Based on that performance, yeah.
That's why they're
Chris,
all looking at Chris like food.
They are. I still maintain though, Chris is better than that, and when he fights a danger man like
he's much better.
He will fight better, I'm sure.
See, I don't know about that fight though, Ra. I'll be real. I've looked into pause, by the way, the eyes of the Midnight Train, and you know, as a man, and when you've come and been to certain places and stuff, and just come from a certain demographic, that guy is a killer. He looks like he survived death, and he has survived death. Like, honestly, Ra, like that guy, he I don't know. He just his energy, his chakra is set to lethal at all times. So
you know
yeah,
what? I'm not
I
sold
love
on
you,
it.
Chris, bro, but I just don't know, man. I just don't know.
I'm not sold on him because the memory of the shithousery they pulled with Jai Apataya, that don't fill me with much confidence. So
Yeah, but that's that's politics, right? We're talking straight fight demonization right now, okay? That guy is not. Richard Riakpo had a knife this big go straight through his chest, right? And he was not meant to survive that, Ra. Guess what he did? He survived that, Ra. So all I'm saying is he should be called the Midnight Terminator. That's what he should be called.
are you saying that part of his humanity left him with that knife?
1,000,000%. You don't. What? Did you just ask me that question? You don't just die and come back the same guy that let. No, the Reaper took a bit of his soul and his compassion.
Oh god. All right, well let's see how that one plays out. If it is next,
let's see.
There's a mess with all the cruiserweights now. It's been turned upside down. We don't know if Opataya is keeping that IBF belt. We don't.
No, he's not.
He's not. Okay.
He's not.
CBS. Who's he fighting next? Is Okoli? Is Okoli contracted next? Is Richard contracted next?
Mate, have you seen Okoli, the shape that he's in at the moment?
Yeah,
he is not fighting at cruiserweight anytime soon. That I believe that looks to me like the brother might have been quite or depressed. It's yeah, that is a real shame for Zorro, to be fair. But to be fair, also he's not ranked in the IBF, and Chris has already had a voluntary with Thompson, and that was a proper voluntary. Because if you look at Thompson and the level he was at before he fought Jai, I knew Jai was going to put in the performance that he did. Maybe not quite so soon, but I did know that he was going to steamroll through that guy. The guy fought Bradis, broke his jaw in 3 places and carried on for 12 rounds. One thing that I'm looking forward to is that there's just monsters in all of these weight divisions. There's just monsters that can give us monster fights. So that's one thing I'm really looking forward to as well. The return of Jai Opataya in the great kingdom of Saudi Arabia on the day of reckoning. I think what I was going to say after the live, we'll talk about it properly. But I think we should all be on the panel and all speak about that show before it happens. And give the fans something special.
We'll do a special, but yeah, we'll talk about that afterwards. I think let's go on to, before we go on to the upcoming fights. I'm sure your old friend Trey is straining at the leash to talk about the Twitter beef between your fave and his fave.
Yes.
Let's put Trey out of his misery. Haney and Tank, they're going at it. I mean, this is what we want to see, isn't it? We want to see the actual fight more, but is it fair to say is the talk, could that be a precursor that is being looked at? Or do you think once again it's a whole load of talk and it will come to nothing?
One thing that we know about Devin Haney compared to Gervonta Tank Davis is that he has a pen, and he uses that pen, Ra, to sign contracts to fight. Okay. When you do this, not only do you increase your appeal with the hardcore boxing fans, but you also increase your global profile, which Devin Haney is actually doing. The thing is, Ryan Garcia had achieved, in terms of world level accomplishments, nothing. If I'm being honest and real, and people can hate me for saying this, but it's just the absolute truth. Devin Haney fought the best of the best at 135 pounds. He fought Lomachenko. Okay, he went into Australia twice, Jurassic Park twice, beat the champion twice. I mean, when is this kid gonna get any bit of recognition? Tank, in his own words, has said he's never asked for that step-up fight against Lomachenko, right? His own words. You can pull this up in the search bar, just up there.
Yeah, he did say that.
So I don't know why people are mad at me for being a damn realist out here, right? Actually, I have some things to get off my chest. Trey, how can you say that Gervonta Tank Davis wants the fight? He don't want the fight. Tank does this from time to time. He goes on this whole Twitter charade thing or whatever, doesn't fight the guy you want to fight, and then fights someone completely opposite. Who is asking for Cruz 2? Anybody, Rob? Who's asking for that fight?
Leonard Ellaby wants it.
Listen. I'm sick of these guys winding me up. I swear to God. I swear to God, yo, it's just ridiculous. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think it's serious. I do like the Twitter beef. I will be real. However, I just don't con us and say you want to fight when you probably don't.
See, much is being made about Haney's rehydration since it's been revealed that he rehydrated 25 pounds. Personally, I don't see that as that big a deal because it's been a common thing amongst top fighters for quite a while. I mean, I remember Pac-Man back when he was fighting at featherweight. Long time ago, I know people remember him more for what he did at the end of his career, like at welterweight. But Pacquiao's best days, you could argue, was down at featherweight when he was blitzing guys like Barrera and Morales. And I recall there was one of his fights at featherweight where he rehydrated 25 pounds overnight. So yeah, people say he's a weight bully. Look, most of the top fighters, most of them were weight bullies when they were that young. If they started young, when you're in your early 20s, you can rehydrate that much weight overnight. The key is when you go through the weights. But hey, listen, as some people pointed out, Tank fans were saying Inoue should move up and fight Tank. Okay, well, that's 13 pounds. Why can't you just move up 5 pounds? So,
to those people that are saying about Devin rehydrating 25 pounds, shut the F up. Shut the F up. Because do you know what he does? He makes weight. He makes weight when he's supposed to make weight, and he's never, unlike some certain people out there in the land of boxing, lost his belts on the scales and has been unprofessional on the scales on the night, not respecting the opponent by making your contracted weight. So to those people, I say, shut the F up. 25 pounds, 30 pounds, whatever. On the day they said, make this weight, he made that weight. So, yeah. I think in terms of who would win between Devin and Tank, I still say that Devin Haney, biasness aside, is the leader of the new school. I've said this for years and years and years. I think that young man might just come out of this thing undefeated, multi-weight undisputed champion. He shows me all the things that boxers that we love are supposed to do. Do you know what I mean? So him rehydrating an extra 25 pounds. No, there's nothing in there's no rehydration clause in his contract. It was at 140. He made 140. You cry somebody else a river because I definitely don't care. But in terms of who wins that fight, I
Josh reckons
Devin
Haney
Haney.
smokes Tank. Do you go as far to say he smokes him?
Yes, a boxing lesson, an absolute punch, perfect boxing lesson. Double PB for as an acronym for the kids. Okay,
All right.
clinical. You see what he did to Regis? That style. Tank comes forward with that Mike Tyson-esque style. Devin Haney is slick. He's smooth as melted butter. Okay, the style matchups just give Haney the advantage for me.
Okay, interesting. I'm still a believer that if he does take these big fights, he can beat these guys simply because some of the top coaches who don't have anything to do with Tank, so they're not biased. Guys like John David Jackson, when I spoke to him, he said he can see some of the subtleties of what Tank does. He says he can tell he's got an exceptional ring IQ at working people out. It's not something that necessarily us as fans, laypersons, can see. But he, as an old school American, very well schooled, he says he sees it. So because of that, I do think Tank might actually we might still have yet to see the best of him. But hey, listen, coulda, woulda, shoulda. You got to actually do it in the ring. And that's where it's so disappointing from Tank. You know, this constant merry-go-round of, you know, A side, B side. Yeah, okay, look, cool. If Tank's the A side, fair enough, but get your people to negotiate with these guys and try and get the fights done. But I guess we'll have to see if this is just talk or not. Yeah, let's see. What's some of the fans saying? Bukayo, big up Bukayo. How big can Tank get regarding weight divisions? You know what? I just don't think he's got the right body type. He's too short and stocky.
Nah, he's too short, man. He's just way too. He looks like a miniaturized Mike Tyson, like in all of his dimensions, and he just looks like they shrunk his ass down to size. But I say 135, 140, possibly a catch weight at like 144. He'll never. I doubt he'll fight competitively at 147. He might fight at 147, but he might not fight competitively.
Yeah,
at 147.
I'm sure eventually he'll win a world title at 147, but it'll be when there's someone.
No, he's been Tank has been a pro the same amount of time as Anthony Joshua. Yeah. Let that sink in. AJ's had how many times? Like it's frustrating. I'm happy that Tank earns his money, and you know, as a prize fighter, you have to do what you have to do. But as a fan, I hate the way that he moves. Like I just find it to be just ridiculous, and I don't get the slate that Devin Haney will have from fans when Tank Tank gets away with all of this stuff. I have nothing against Tank. I'm a massive fan of his, and that's why it's so disappointing when you're a massive fan of somebody, and they move in the way that he moves in regards to the people that we want to fight, and those fights don't happen. Then no, and nobody escapes criticism. Nobody. I'm sorry. I just have to keep it real at all times, every time.
Given there's been all this talk between them, presuming Haney v Tank doesn't happen next, who would be acceptable opponents for both next? In the weight classes they're both at. So Tank's presumably staying at 135. If he's not going to fight
Tank can fight Shakur. Tank literally can fight Shakur. He can fight Lomachenko. There's so many people there at 135 pounds that he can fight. The pool, the talent of pool at 135 and 140 is vast. It's the most out of every single other division out there. That's why this guy doesn't have any excuses for fight. Why are you going to fight Andy Cruz for the second time. Andy Cruz has looked lackluster in his last couple of fights anyway. Not that I'm saying that he's a bad fighter, but I'm saying there's so many other people that you can fight right now. You know, like you and Shakur could fight literally next. You know, and it's like, and there's other champions that you can fight at 135 pounds to win legitimate, but like it's just it's a headache. It's just stressful. Do you know what I mean?
Who would you like to see Devin? We know you're a big fan of Devin. Now, let's say he's at 140, even talking about going to 147. I'd like to see him at least have one or two more big fights at 140. Who would you like to see?
I want him to unify. I want him to fight Matias and then Teofimo Lopez, become undisputed, and then go to 147. Thing is that because he's been at 135 for so long, he looks incredible, in incredible shape. I've been saying it for years, Ra. For years. You have been there when I've been saying this. That once he moves away from 135 pounds, he will be unstoppable. Because the only thing that was killing him was rehydrating and damn near eating one slice of bread a day to make sure that he makes weight. So, you know, I would say Teofimo Lopez and Matias, 1,000,000%, the winner of those two at 140 pounds. That would be my dream for Devin. And Devin will do it because you know why? He signs contracts.
Yeah. Talking of signing contracts, though, all the talk is Lopez and Matias are in discussion. So might not be any big fights easily available for Devin. But hey, of course, there's always Ryan Garcia.
What about Conor Ben?
Yeah, Conor's saying that. Come up to 147. My only issue with it is that if he goes up to 147, I don't think he'll come back down. It's like once a fighter has gone up in weight, it's not a good idea they try and drop back down. I know he's younger than some of the other guys that did that disastrously, like obviously most famously Jones and Kell Brook, but given just how hard the opponents are to come back down in weight to, that's something I'd be concerned about.
To be honest, I think Conor needs to concentrate on other things. I spoke to Conor. I speak to him yesterday. Obviously, he's been seeing the beef that's been going on with Gervonta and Haney. He thought, let me just have a little bit of that. I believe he called him a woman dwarf. Anyway, you guys can go check it out. He reposted. I posted it and he reposted it. You can check it out on his Instagram. But I don't like the fight for Ben right now. I think Ben just needs to say, just F it, go win a world title as soon as one is available. Go win one. Don't worry about Chris. Chris will always come back to fight him. The thing is, the longer that Chris leaves it, the worse it gets for him. Obviously that fight isn't signed next. Which is a little bit disappointing, but the longer it kind of goes on, the less I have a taste for it. I don't know about you, Rob, but I it's just,
what's that?
It's too much.
Yeah, to be honest,
Yeah.
I was never high on it. I was never high on it. Didn't like it. I thought for both of them, in terms of legacy, for money, fine, I get all that. But in terms of legacy for both of them, I don't think it was the right time, because Eubanks #1 for Janibek's
IBO.
WBO, and he asked for the WBO not to call it, which I think is insane. I mean, world title chances don't come off often. I think it should. I'm hoping now that that's done and dusted with Ben. Asked for the Janibek fight. I mean, Eubank Jr., he is known in America, so I'm sure Janibek will happily take that fight. And you can either have a big fight in Las Vegas or a big arena here in the UK for 2 world titles.
Does he want to though? He wants to fight. Firstly, it still shocks me to this day that the IBO call mandatories. Whenever I see a headline that says IBO has called this mandatory, I have to die laughing. I'm not gonna lie, Ra. Secondly, I've read, and as I understand it, he actually wants to fight that mandatory. I don't know who it is. I think it's some gentleman from Europe. Uh, my thing is that with Chris's career has been interesting to say the least. I think when it's over, I can give a proper analysis. But he's in the last stage of his career now, and he's saying no to WBO title opportunities. It's just sad. It's sad to see, and he's not the only one doing it. But it's if you were gonna go for the money fight, then just fight Ben, because that's guaranteed money. And I don't know how much you would need to price yourself out. I'm assuming that he's asked for a higher number because obviously Ben, having his issues with the British board and licensing and what have you, you'd have to go through a foreign license, or they would have to take the fight out of Britain, which would be a crime in itself. I would say. I think that's.
I mean, there's no point having it anywhere but the UK. Josh, big up Josh, is making an interesting point, and he said he's interested in making Conor the Barrios for the WBC interim. Yeah, you know what? That's the sort of direction I want Conor to go in.
Me too.
Criticize him. He of course he's not ready for the likes of Crawford, but hopefully it looks like Crawford's done and dusted at 147, which is, I think, the right time given what he wants to do at this stage of his career. Let the next crop of young welterweights, let them pick up and start again to establish a new king of the welterweight division. Crawford proved he is for his generation, but he's 36. So the younger crop, they need to fight amongst themselves. So yeah, I like that. Conor and Barrios, yeah, I'm very happy with that. And then between him and the guys like Boots Ennis and whoever else picks up belts.
Boots even doing anything? Like
again, I mean,
another one that just talks on the net. It's just annoying, Ram. And they crucified Devin Haney for getting that championship the way that he did. And look what happens with Boots, right? So I just don't see the same energy being distributed around here.
Yeah, I mean, Boots, the only positive thing I would say, apparently he's talking to other promoters, and including Matchroom, which might be a positive sign. Maybe he's fed up of being inactive.
I would too.
Yeah,
like the guy fights once every blood moon.
I'll tell you what, I mean, a lot of people say Boots is the most talented, most giftedly talented American since Roy Jones. So if he is that talented, it's a real shame he's that inactive, because he's already 26 or 27. So coming up to your prime, you want to start getting into the big fights. You don't want to be like Crawford, wait till you're 36 and then finally get that big fight. You need to start getting them like in the next couple of years.
Crawford, I'm not going to entirely blame Crawford, because he had genuinely been blackballed. From world title fights. So it was a struggle for him to unify at 147. I think we can all actually agree with that. Lots of ingredients in the pot, in terms of blame. However, I don't want to blame Crawford too much about that one. The thing is with Boots is that you are wasting away the prime years of your life. If it is due to contractual reasons with Al Heyman or what have you, or if you're just not fighting for the sake of not fighting, it's hard for me to say that he's the most talented fighter since Roy Jones. Roy Jones fought everybody. He said, line them up, and they did. And he absolutely destroyed it in the 90s. Roy Jones Jr. was incredible. That man was, I don't know, he was created in a lab for boxing, and boxing beautifully. I don't see that with Boots. I don't see that.
No, you're right. The energy ain't of someone of that that talent level. But like I said, it's not too late for any of these guys that we've mentioned.
Still young, but it's
They're going to make.
it's
They're going
like,
to make the
come
right
on,
decision.
man. Yeah,
They've got to make
you
the
know,
right decision.
my uncle Al Heyman is going to Amazon Prime. He got the deal done. The group chat was popping off the other day. And look, there we go. Now, if you're staying with Al or whatever, Al also really, 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 he's had probably the biggest year for the business, but the worst one. It was almost like a kamikaze, I would say. But now that he has this opportunity with Amazon Prime could change the whole face of PBC, because I don't know what the statistic is. It's something freaking crazy, but like 80% of the world have Amazon Prime. 80%. That's nuts. So
Yeah, cool.
now, now it's time for PBC to have a full revamp, get in there, don't stop charging pay-per-view for crap, which I think Amazon won't be doing that anyway, as an established business. I don't think they're going to take any subpar fights to be put on the pay-per-view platform. So which is an amazing thing, obviously. Thank you, Jeff Bezos. And yeah, come on, Boots, come on, the rest of you, man. Just all for 2024, just have a Royal Rumble. All of you get in there together from 135 to 147. It's just filled with talent. Let's get some big fights over, man.
Yes, indeed. We're talking of big fights. Brings us to the main topic, headline topic. Is Sonny Edwards the UK pound for pound best boxer? Well, if he's not yet, will it be answered Saturday, early hours from Glendale, Arizona? I don't know if you caught the press conference.
Oh yes,
he was going in on the young innocent Bam Rodriguez. Would you make it up?
He's so damn quiet, right? It's just like, oh, dude. And the thing is, I think we've both interviewed Sonny, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sonny can talk for years and he won't stop, right? Because I think he's got a form of ADHD and stuff like that. So big up to him. I also have a form of it, but he's on another level. He's on absolutely another level. I spoke to him half an hour before I actually interviewed him, which the interview was like 40 minutes after that half an hour. So I was like, this guy is killing me right now. But he's funny, he's entertaining. I think he's 0.02% Kenyan. So yeah, that DNA is holding on for dear life. Shout out to my guy Sonny Wakanda, bro. Yeah, I think it's gonna be an amazing fight, Ra. I think a Sonny masterclass is incoming. I believe that you will see a unanimous decision from him, and yeah, I just I hope they give us a great fight, because it is sort of the greatest weapon versus the greatest shield. So yeah, I got Sonny on points. How do you see the fight?
Me too. I've always said that. I always thought these master boxers, they always get the better of the more exciting punches. We've seen that over the years. Mayweather, Saudi outpointed Pacquiao, didn't he? Sugar Ray Leonard, when he turned it on, he soundly outpointed Duran. It's a story as old as boxing. The puncher only comes through if there's some fragility. And there might be in Sonny. He has been dropped by guys of much lower level. But again, I don't put a single instance of a flash knockdown as proof of fragility, because if we did, then Deontay Wilder should have knocked Fury out cold, because he'd been down against journeyman in the past. So I think also Sonny is so realistic about himself. He won't go in there thinking I can't be knocked out. I think he will go in there knowing, yeah, if I make a mistake against this level of guy, I will get knocked out. And I think he'll just be that much more dialed in. And like you said, I think he'll put on a masterclass and win a wide unanimous decision. Although maybe at least one of the judges will have it closer than it should be. But yeah,
Well, reckon a bit of home cooking.
there will be, but I think it will be so wide that he'll still get it. But yeah, well, what do you make of what he was saying at the press conference? He's really going in. Big up Sakib. Both of you
Shout out to Sakib. Shout out to Sakib. Thank
glasses. Yeah, you know that.
Someone there. If I take them off, then my identity as Ben Whittaker will be revealed. So I have to keep the glasses on at all times.
Yeah. But thank you, Sakib. We'll keep the specs on. Yeah, what do you make about? He's really going in on Bam and his team for working with. I think it's Victor Conte, the one-time big PD peddler in the sport.
Oh, that's Snack. Yeah.
So he's strongly insinuating that they're cheats and that he's going to beat them anyway. Well, I don't know if you saw that Eddie didn't want to make a comment on it. The DAZN commentary team just tried to gloss over it. I guess they've got legal concerns. I don't know. Or is that, in your opinion, is that a sign that the powers that be almost complicit in that sort of thing?
Oh my God. Okay, now we're really going into Area 51 with this one. How do I answer that? Well, Steve Kim. You know Steve Kim. He, American journalist, obviously used to work for ESPN, etc. Shout out to him. I believe that he does work with Snack. You know, one thing I don't like about that guy that you mentioned is that, you know, he goes in on, you know, the drug cheats and, you know, all this type of stuff. I mean, people that he has worked with have been linked to performance enhancing drugs, even after he turned his life around and become an advocate for anti-doping. I don't know. The guy is just very, very interesting. Thing is that Sonny's funny. Sonny is hilarious. But one thing that he's always stayed true to, Ra, is that he has always been anti-drugs. You know, he's always. He always goes in on somebody that has been caught with drugs. I think he's actually just made up with Ben now. You know, make of that what you do you know what I mean? Like, make of that what you will. However, I think it's good. I think call people out until they can, and call people out so they can prove you wrong. You know, that's all I have to say about that. Really, it's not really you know, it's just Sonny being Sonny. You know, he's trying to get under Bam's skin. Bam is very quiet. Bam is like a Daniel Dubois. Okay, he's not like a thinker like that. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I think there's a language barrier there as well. You know, which he probably didn't understand a freaking word that Sonny was saying. So that's probably why he was just chilled out. Like, yep, cool. Say whatever you want to say to me. I'm not even gonna ask them to give me the subtitles for it. So yeah, let's keep it moving.
Did you see the altercation between
I did.
Junaid Boston and Gordy Ross, who's apparently Sugar Hill's nephew or cousin? I can't recall. Yeah, that was wild. Two unbeaten prospects, same stage of their careers, 6-0, 7-0. That's going to be a tasty one.
I do like those fights sometimes. I you know, because for me, the loser hasn't really lost. You know, because when you're taking step up fights like that, you know, my guy, Disney Drago, he reminds me. It reminds me a lot of him because he took you know, obviously he didn't have a lot of amateur experience and took tough fights
Mm-hmm.
from like his 5th or 6th fight. I think when he fought Campbell, the first time I met him was at the BIC. Lovely human being, man. I love that guy. Big up to him. But you know, it's good to have those type of fights sometimes. You know, especially when they're right at the same level. So you know, one isn't gonna really beat up the other one. It's always gonna kind of be, you know, just like I wouldn't say equal, but there's always going to be just maybe that little bit extra that one might have over the other, to determine the victory. And
Yeah.
it's a quick way to excel your career. Josh is saying, sorry, we're just taking it back to the Sonny Edwards fight. Think Sonny will get robbed Saturday. Wow, I don't know, mate. I don't know. The
I
thing
think
is that
it's
Sonny, there's two things that about Sonny. Sonny can make you look like you've never boxed before. That's how good he really is. If he doesn't want you to hit him, you're not going to hit him. Simple as that. The only way that Sonny gets hit is when he starts to kind of lose the momentum of the crowd, where people, especially the casual audience, won't don't like that kind of the boxing style, boxercising, as it were. So he
yeah.
tries to switch it up and he tries to come inside the pocket. That's usually when he gets caught. If I'm him, I'm saying I'm not even gonna risk it, because Bam has power to send him to a place that I don't want to see him go.
Yeah.
So I think that he needs to just really stick with his boxing, man. But I don't know. I don't think it's in Bam's
they're from
hometown.
California. I think Bam's from California, isn't he? So
Is
Arizona.
Bam from California?
Well, let's just get on.
Sorry to our American fans out there. Roy and I are about as geographical
Let's
as
have a look on Box Rec. I know. Well, his hometown is San Antonio, Texas.
I
Do you
was
know
about
the
to say.
size
He
of
seemed,
Texas?
yeah, because
Texas
they have
is
a
like
massive
bigger than France, so it's in the same part of the US as Arizona, but it's still closer.
no, Trey.
Do you think he carried it? Come on.
Mm.
Look, Sonny's great at what he does, but he doesn't have the power to stop any of the top level guys.
No way, bro. Especially at the lower weights. Can you imagine if Sonny stopped somebody? I might actually say, "Wait, what's? Has he been having some snack?"
At the press conference, he did say he can stop people if he wants to. Yeah. All right, some news just coming from our viewer Josh. Teofimo Leon Ortiz are in the process of finalizing a deal for February the 8th fight via. Hey, listen, if that happens, great fight. Great fight. Can't argue with Jermaine Ortiz. Yeah, it's not what we want. We want unifications, but it's a very good fight. You can't say Jermaine Ortiz isn't a really good contender. And
yeah, he's a great contender. But who's Matthias gonna fight? Because him and Matthias were supposed to be
Matthias was offered it for Feb, and he said his hand's injured. So Lopez don't want to hang around inactive. So fair enough if that's the case. If Matthias comes out and fights someone in the meantime, I'll be screwing. I'll be saying, nah, you ducked him then. So
yeah, 1,000,000%.
Your boogeyman image is gone. But to be fair, I don't think that's the case with Matthias. He seems legit. I think he is injured.
He seems like an assassin, that kid. I'm not gonna lie. He also looks like a brutalizer. And this is what the division needs. Like, I mean, garnered that the talent pool at 140 pounds is like I said, is the biggest in boxing. But we need more stars to come through, more prospects to come through. So, as you said, Jermaine Ortiz, not a bad fight. If he's waiting for one of the big boys at 140 in February. I think February will be quite a good month for boxing, Ra.
Yeah. I mean, we got the
February, March
heavyweight title fight back in Saudi Arabia, although anything to do with Fury is always questionable. But let's
Have
hope
you noticed
so.
no one's talking about that?
Yeah, that's
Ever
a bit
since it's been
whack.
announced, no
Yeah.
one has been talking about it. The timeline has been quiet. You know, everyone's obviously been just talking about the Day of Reckoning. I still can't believe Dev Sani was promoting the Zone. Can and I've got the lottery ticket here. I bought a lottery ticket because I was like, this is not real. This is not real. I even told Dev that.
January is always a dead month. Yeah, well, you know what?
Yeah, everyone's
if it
broke,
is,
bro.
I'm hoping that gives them time to build the promotion for Fury v Usyk. That's a historic fight. It's like 30 years in the making. We've waited for an undisputed heavyweight champion to be crowned, so it does deserve.
Fury is going to chin Usyk. I'm
You
just
think?
checking that out.
All right, well,
%.
you've chucked your early prediction in. I'll do mine. Of course, we both reserve the right to change our minds closer to the time. My early prediction is Usyk.
I'm definitely not.
Fury. I think he stops Fury.
No.
I think he'll have him down. I think he'll have him stopped on his feet through exhaustion. But we'll come to that in the future. A lot can happen between now and February, so let's not get.
Fury chins him, and he takes revenge for Daniel Dubois. I'm actually sad that this fight isn't happening in Wrocław, Poland, in front of 46,000 fans. I'm pissed actually, but you know what? We get justice in all types of forms, Ra. So I'm very much looking forward to that day. I'll be real. Yeah, but incredible.
I mean, just finally to wrap up. Have you seen the Day of Reckoning promo video?
Incredible.
Again,
Another reason to buy lottery tickets. Frank Warren is promoting Anthony Joshua. Would you ever see the day that Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn are making a promo trailer with each other? I'd have pinched myself twice, Ra. I'd have pinched myself 5 times. I had to look in the mirror, maybe I'd hit some eye drops.
Yeah, it's a fantastic.
Do a drug test.
Fantastic little mini movie they made there. Not sure why they've given it a zombie theme, but hey, listen, it's good fun. Bukayo Saka, could we start a prediction league on this show between you two? Might be
absolutely
start in 2024. That is a brilliant idea, Bukayo. I don't put too much stock in getting predictions right. I know a lot of people do online, but yeah, listen, it's fun.
I want Trey. I'm not gonna lie.
Fact, you know what? 2024 we could start in, or we could start it with the Day of Reckoning. I think so. Great big bang, massive show. Could start then. What do you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Raw. I like doing prediction games with Raw because, like Raw says, Raw just he's so cool. The one I want, right? My favorite to be right over is Trey. Trey is the one where I'm like, yeah, today you're gonna get it, buddy. Josh Rico isn't good at predictions. Josh, shut up. Shut. Do you know what it is? I've had a bad couple of months, only because, you know, that Daniel Dubois, that really threw my energy off, man. Honestly, so I've recovered anyway. January, I'm gonna come back stronger than I ever was, better than I've ever been, and yeah, Josh, kiss my ass. Anyway,
all right.
I should as well. Big up to everybody that's tuned into the show. Final little topic to kick us off, Ron.
Yeah. So yeah, next weekend, of course, is the massive show to close the year just before Christmas, Saudi Arabia. So I am heading out there and will arrive Wednesday night. So just like we did in Poland, me and you are going to have to do an on-location RnR Hour special. Aisha will be there if she's available. We can have her as a special guest. But before that, the whole iBoxingHub team, let's get together and do a special preview of all 8 of those fantastic fights. So, viewers,
$1,000,000%.
keep your eye out on that. Sometime by the end of the week, we will try and get that in for you. The whole iBoxingHub team doing a preview. So, yeah, look out for that. And then for next week, look out for content from me and Aisha, repping iBoxingHub. And one of our former alumni who weren't with us long, but Sherry Abassi, he's out there as well.
Big up to my guy, Shez.
So he's going to be doing stuff as well. So, yeah, look out for that. We'll be trying to get you loads of content from Saudi Arabia. I'm now agonizing about what outfits to take. So, yeah, I've got a dilemma for the next few days. Because I'll definitely need my Prince Ali Ababwa costume because
you have to have you have to be 30, bro. You need the whole thing. You need the whole everything. If I was there, I'd even have to maybe get some fake gold rings just for like an hour, just walking through the market.
Trey,
this is why he blocked me. This is why you blocked me.
Trey, that's my dilemma. Is there going to be room in my luggage for the hat and the Prince Ali Ababwa outfit? That's my big dilemma. But hey, listen, I'll work it out before I fly out, and yeah, I'll rep us all well. Don't worry.
Tony Ellis, just wear the hat, nothing else, no robe, anything, just the hat, and just walk down the.
For the right company, I will do that.
Raw will do that. Raw will do that. Raw will do that. He's legendary like that. But no, obviously, please, guys, look out. Thank you so much, obviously, for joining us for today's show. Absolutely incredible stuff, as per usual. Co-host. So much has obviously happened in boxing, like it always does. It is the greatest soap opera ever, undefeated. I can't think of anything better than this sport. And yes, we will have our brother and sister Aisha over there in the great kingdom of Saudi Arabia with Turki Al Sheikh, His Excellency. I hope he gives you a great meeting like in that one movie. And yeah, you know, we're gonna have our specials, as Ross said, and there's just gonna be so much content dropping. You have Green Diamond Boxing, you have Trey and BNG. I love saying his name right. To look forward to. So please. Make sure to like, subscribe, retweet, share, all of that amazing stuff. Follow myself. There's my Addy. Follow Ra. There's his Addy. And thank you so much, guys, for joining us on today's show. Ra, do you want to close us off?
Get a good night's rest. We're going to stay up for Sonny Edwards on the early hours of Saturday. I'm off to sleep, and so is Rico. We'll catch you soon.
Take care, guys.
It's another band. All the Muslim calls now, whichever get up. I start my card with a sweet one, please. Someone flicks me a bag,